The Renly and Loras are gay, like really, really gay. And if you were wondering why I'm stating something as obvious as the sky is blue, well, it's because there is a contingent of this fan base who thinks that these two characters are just, good buddies. Roommates, you might even say. And that's because while in the TV show, they're very explicitly doing the do, in the books, it's a bit more subtle. In the books, neither of these characters are point of view characters, so we never actually get to be in their heads, and we never get to see them in any sort of act. So does that mean that contingent of the fan base might have a point, that these two characters might not be gay, and this is all just like a big misunderstanding and Hollywood going woke? Well, no, because it's also like very obvious in the books that they're really, really gay. So please allow me to give just a few quotes establishing how queer these characters are and why it's so, obvious. Before I do though, there is a special episode of the pod up right now over in the other place. Very special for reasons that will become apparent once you turn it on. Anyway, if you want to go watch it, do the thing. Also, I promise I'm back. I'm a college graduate now. I don't have to worry anymore. And now this is just what I do. I don't have to do homework. Yay. Anyway, back to the gay stuff. First, there's the fact that this is a very open secret. A lot of characters make very heavy-handed references to Renly and Loras' queerness. The first one that we get is Stannis. Actually, it might not be the first one, but the first one I'm going to show you, this is an incomplete list. Don't just deal with that. But is Stannis. When Stannis and Renly are meeting, right before Stannis, to Renly, whatever, they're having a discussion, and Renly's like trying to show off, and he's like, yeah, I got married. I got Marjorie. And then he goes on, you'll be pleased to know that she came to me a maid. And then Stannis, our king of the one-liners, responds, in your bed, she's like to die that way. She'll stay a virgin cause you're gay. Get it? Another one, when Loras is so enraged by the sight of Brienne because he thinks that Brienne took out Renly, he tries to go for her, and Jaime tries to calm him down. He's not listening. Loras is like, this is no concern of yours. I'm gonna kill her. And Jaime basically yells at him and goes, let's see, you're gonna sheathe your bloody sword, or I will take it from you and shove it up someplace even Renly never found. Do I need to elaborate? I promise they didn't just randomly have a spelunking hobby that never got mentioned. I mean, maybe like a type of spelunking, but ew. Next, we have Tyrion talking about a handmaid named Brella who is working in his like little household now for Sansa, and he mentions that he was suggested Brella by Varys because in former days she had run Renly's household in the city, which had given her a deal of practice at being blind, deaf, and mute. Why she need to be blind, deaf, and mute, y'all? Gay stuff. Then there's Cersei, who makes several very thinly veiled references to Loras' nature, because at this point, Loras, in the aftermath of Renly being gone, has joined the Kingsguard and is the one who is now like instructing Tommen in jousting, and Cersei doesn't like that. And one of the reasons she doesn't like that, she thinks, is because, let's see, She did not want Tommen growing close to Loras Tyrell. The Knight of the Flowers was no sort of man for any boy to emulate. Why is that? And actually, Cersei says several more comments about Loras, but I didn't want to take the time to search them all up, so just this'll do. Now, I know that contingent is not going to be satisfied with what I just said, because you know what? These are all just rumors. They're slanderous rumors. They're libel. They're meant to like, throw Renly under the bus and besmirch his good name, yada 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 yada. Okay, let's do less rumory type things, and let's look at like the characters themselves. Right before Renly is about to go, do battle with Stannis, Catelyn is telling him that, hey, it's the eve of the battle, you should go pray. And he's like, for what? And she goes, for wisdom. And to that, Renly laughed. Loras, stay and help me pray. It's been so long, I've quite forgotten how. As for the rest of you, go away, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's innocent. Just two bros chilling in a hot tub, 10 feet apart, because they're praying, okay? Maybe Renly just legitimately needed Loras to remind him how to pray. That's such a common thing. Later, this praying is referenced again when Jaime is trying to talk Loras down from wanting to, off Brienne, and he's having Loras Loras kind of go over what happened that night so that he can poke holes in this story about like Brienne being responsible. And so as Renly is discussing as Loras is discussing what happened that night that Renly was taken out, he says, Renly gave me the vanguard. Otherwise, it would have been me helping him don his armor. He often entrusted that task to me. We had ... We had prayed together that night. I left him with her. Blah, blah, blah. So let me get this straight. Loras normally is always entrusted with the dressing of Renly Baratheon, and that night specifically, he wasn't entrusted with dressing Renly Baratheon. But don't worry. They'd prayed together. Sorry. ... We had ... We prayed. Pretty normal, I think. Now, I've been pretty jokey so far, but something I do want to say is this is obviously like a tragedy here. And it's a tragedy in the show a bit, though unfortunately in the show they have Loras kind of forget about Renly. But in the books, he doesn't. In the books, Loras is destroyed by Renly's death. As you can see when I was going over like those quotes with how he's reacting when he sees Brienne because he thinks Brienne is responsible, he is like physically, mentally, emotionally destroyed, and it's very obvious that he is, especially when you consider one of my favorite quotes in the entire series, and I think a lot of people's. So let's look at it. Shortly after Loras gets to King's Landing and he's said his intention of becoming a Kingsguard, he is talking to Tyrion, and Tyrion is like asking him like, okay, well, why are you wanting to do this? Like, you're kind of like throwing your life away, kid. And Loras is like, I'm fine. My family will be fine. I have 2 older brothers, because remember in the books he has 2 older brothers. He's not the only son like the show made him out to be. So like the Tyrell family line will be fine. It'll continue through them, and I will be fine to live this life. And it's then that he's asked, well, what of love? Tyrion asks Loras, and Loras responds, when the sun has set, no candle can replace it. When the sun has set, no candle can replace it. What do you think he is talking about? And this is why I get annoyed with this particular argument, because you really, really have to work hard to and you really have to do like the mental gymnastics to go like, okay, everyone is rumor mongering. Like everyone, literally like every character who ever mentions Renly is just rumor mongering. And all of these interactions with Renly and Loras can be easily explained away by like, they're just 2 dudes. They were just really close. They just like to pray together. Whatever. I didn't mention Cersei at one point. She gets like a new handmaid friend who talks all about like Renly's wedding night, where he and Marjorie got into bed together and like they were doing stuff. But Loras, because it's a bedding ceremony, so like lots of people are in the room to make sure it happens. Loras is standing right there, and he's the one that brought Marjorie into the room. The implication being like, maybe that's what Renly is focusing on. But no, all of this is circumstantial. All of this is rumors and just like false assumptions being made. Fine, whatever. Okay, how do you explain this line? Come on. I'm sorry your fave loves ding-a-ling. I'm sorry. Oh no, poor you. Also, if literally all that is not enough, George has said that they're both gay like 12 times. Seriously, he's said for years now. I think the first time he said it out loud was in 2005, 20 years ago. And he has said it consistently every couple of years since then. Google it if you don't believe me. Gay. Anyway, I'm back with a vengeance, so please drop down in the comments anything you want me to talk about. Do the buttons, do all the things, go listen to the pod, do everything. It's cool. Okay, have a great night. Goodbye, y'all.